Hey guys, we're back with another helpful tutorial for anyone who may have to fix their Lenovo Vibe C. Today our mission is to disassemble the phone to show you how to get to the part you need to replace. In this video I'll tear down the phone to the level of an easy fix, where you can buy replacement parts and exchange them without soldering, gluing and so on. So basically stuff you can unscrew, unclip and replace. There will be no separating the display from the digitizer or stuff like that. Okay, as you would expect, we'll start by taking the back cover off. If, like me, you haven't got long fingernails, you might need a spudger even for that. Once it's off, put it aside together with the battery. Now on the back we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, which need to come out. I'm using a triple-O Phillips screwdriver. The screws are all the same size and length, so you don't need to keep track where each one goes. The bottom middle one has a warranty sticker over it, and you can see some residue still on it. Now the screws are out, we need to pry the two plastic pieces apart along this line and go all around. You're gonna need quite a sturdy tool. I'm using a metal spudger, but please be careful. There are plastic clips all around, just keep going and unclip one by one. Once you're done, you can separate the two parts. Let's see what we have on this back flimsy plastic part. Apart from the flash lens and some contacts, here's the main speaker. You can take it out using a thin tool like these tweezers here. It's held into place by some adhesive around the edges. Let's put this aside and go on to the main stuff. On the mainboard we see two silver screws holding it in place. We'll get them out using the same screwdriver as before. Both screws are the same size and a different color from the housing screws, so you won't get them mixed up. Once the screws are out, there's still a lot more holding onto the mainboard, so don't try to pull it out yet. Firstly, there's this flat cable on top. I believe it's the digitizer connection. Flip up this latch and gently pull out the cable. Then on the side we see the power and volume buttons cable. On top we see the main camera connection, and here on the other side we see a vibration motor which is soldered onto the mainboard and glued onto the front panel, so be really careful or you'll break the connection. Keeping that in mind, you can lift the mainboard just a little, enough to release this antenna cable. Now, very carefully, not putting any strain on the wires holding it, pry the vibration motor up from its nook. It's held in place with some adhesive, so you'll need to apply some force. As you can see, the mainboard still hasn't got much play. If you look from underneath, you can see two flat cables still connected to it. Back on top, we see nothing's really limiting the mainboard's movement. So let's move on to the side and carefully lift the cable with the power and volume buttons. It's glued down. Be careful to cut through the glue and not tear the cable. Now we've released the mainboard from 3 sides and we still have the 2 cables on the bottom of it. Once you unclip them, the mainboard is finally free. It's still got a few things attached to it, like this power cable. Flip out the little latch to release it. The main camera offers little resistance. Under this piece of tape you can see the charging port is soldered onto the mainboard, so it's not really an easy fix to change it. However, changing the front-facing camera is. Just unclip it and deal with the glue holding it in place. Same as the charging port, the 3.5mm headphone jack is soldered on. Let's get onto the front panel. Here we see the earpiece, which again is held in place with some adhesive and can be easily exchanged. On the bottom we can unclip the antenna cable, which can then be pulled out of the frame and exchanged if it's faulty. This is actually as far as I recommend going, just to make sure you don't damage anything in the display area. So now it's time to begin snapping everything back into place. We need to put the main speaker back into the frame. If you're not sure which way the contacts go, align it with the contact points on the front panel. Earpiece sits nicely back into its place. We can then go on and reattach everything to the mainboard. Snap on the front-facing camera and align it. Do the same with the main camera. Slide in the power and volume buttons cable and close the little latch. Recheck to make sure all the connections are sturdy. Now we're ready to align the mainboard with the front panel and reconnect the two flat cables and the antenna cable, not necessarily in that order. Then slowly lay down the mainboard and sneak the top flat cable through the slit. Align the vibrating motor and the cameras. Now close down the latch on the remaining flat cable. The glue on the power cable should still stick, so align it to the edge of the panel and press down on it. Check all the connections, and when you're ready, tighten the silver screws which hold the mainboard in place. Put the plastic back cover on and go around pressing it down and snapping it into place. All that is left to do is to put back the 7 black screws and tighten them down. Now we're ready to put the battery in, pop the back cover back on and start the phone to see if our repair has been successful. That's it for today's video. As always, thanks for watching, and until the next one, goodbye.